Okay, welcome back. We hit kind of a game-breaking bug at the end of the video I just recorded, so I'm going to have to re-record, and therefore we lost a few things that we did prior to heading out here. So basically, we we took the DVDs that we got from Green Winters at the hotel. We found a DVD player, and we got them hooked up, and basically found out that Valclair the Dragon Slayer is actually Green Winter's brother. So now we have Green Winters having died the same way Monica did, with a connection to Firewing. So now we know that there is some sort of conspiracy afoot. And it's really unfortunate that we lost all this video and we're kind of stuck here. But basically, what Green Winter said is we need to talk to somebody named Alice, who is a major global power player. So our fixer gave us $10,000 that we needed just to talk to her. And she basically said that, you know, when we went to speak to her, that we needed to have 50,000 new yen for her to give us information on where the whereabouts of Valclair is. So now we're basically kind of doing the shadow running thing to make the money that we need to, you know, get more information as to what happened to Valclair. So we were sent to a guy that's basically a charity organizer who fights anti-metahuman hate groups. So if we kind of think back to the old videos we did on the Sega Genesis game, I had briefly talked about the Awakening and how it was basically where some humans morphed into elves, orcs, trolls, and dwarves. And as you can kind of expect, that created a lot of racial tension around the world. And so you had a lot of, you know, hate groups spring up, and the biggest one of all is called Humanus. And that's who we're going to attack now, is the hate group Humanus. So basically, we're going to go in with these smugglers and jump on board a weapons smuggling shipment to get access to their facility. So this here is the smuggler. So we're going to head on in. The only other thing to add that you would have missed, since the last video is basically worthless because of the bug, is that Dietrich's nephew is stuck in Humanus. He was basically brainwashed, and he's going to be someone that we try to get out of there. So here we've been ambushed by some gangers. And now we can make a choice. We can help the smugglers, and this will actually help. If we help the smugglers, it's going to make this whole thing a lot easier. But we will have to fight the gangers. We can negotiate with the gangers, pay them some money, and we will avoid the fight. Or we can attack everyone, keep the shipment of weapons, make the delivery ourselves, and get a little extra money on top. The downside to that is, at the end of the Humanus run, the smugglers won't be there to help us get out. But to make this interesting, we're going to attack everyone. I told you guys that this is the way that we're going to do this thing. Super aggressive. So that's the way we're going to play it. So right now it's a three-way fight. Gangers on the top and bottom of the map, smugglers in the middle, and our group stuck kind of in the middle as well. So the idea here is going to be to keep as many of these guys, keep the fight as even as possible, to where one side isn't gaining a major numerical advantage. So right now we've got the Ganger boss, which is the girl with the flowing hair, supported with some turrets, a mage, smuggler, all of us, smuggler, Ganger, So a lot more gangers than smugglers right now. So let's go ahead and try to start evening this fight up. So one thing we can do is you see the barrels and we see the leader sitting among them. So let's take a pot shot at the barrels, and we killed the leader and we did some major damage to these turrets. So that's a really good start. And let's take some cover behind the car. We do have a spirit summoning place, so what we can do is go ahead and head in and start to work on getting a spirit summoned. Maxim's probably one of the more dangerous foes. I'm really upset that I let myself get blitzed kind of with his back turned to him. So once we clear the bottom half, then we'll probably start working on the smugglers. Maxim's taking off running now, but Blitz did take a pretty bad shot there. Alright, got the Ganger Mage down. Turrets down. And the cool thing about Gloria is she now has some pretty cool new abilities. So tactically we're not in the greatest spot right now, but this is a tough fight to take on, kind of a three-way fight. So we gotta hope that some of these guys start attacking each other. That'll definitely help spread the damage around a bit. Alright, well that wasn't too bad. So we'll take this fire elemental up to Maxim. We'll go ahead and try to get him down. Got another turret down. That's not good. Yeah, we'll heal Dedrick up. Okay, so we probably need to try to drop this troll pretty soon. Alright, so Alright, drop the thug. So now we've got a smuggler, Maxim who's a smuggler, a ganger, smuggler. So this is actually reasonably even as far as numbers go. Yeah, I really think we need to take Maxim out. Alright, smuggler down. Alright. Fire elemental coming through for us. We got a ganger just punching each other apparently. So Maxim almost down, this troll's almost down. So this is starting to turn into a pretty decent situation. Alright, Maxim's dead next turn. So we'll move up and finish the mage. Or not. This actually isn't going terribly though, all things considered. Alright, smuggler down. Missed the conjure, but we do have some cool abilities here. So maybe we can hit him with that. Alright. We definitely turn the tables on these guys at this point. So all we really have is going to be one ganger thug. Ganger enforcer, so we're all gangers at this point, so we'll have her occupy him. And then one of our new abilities is a compound attack, so it's a kick and a slash, and it does bleed damage and armor piercing damage. The cool thing about these multiple attacks is the bleeds will stack as long as you're doing different attacks. So he's bleeding 2 a round, he's knocked out from the action point loss. She should be able to handle him pretty easily. So let's get in position to finish this last guy off. I really need to make sure that Blitz gets into position. And hopefully we'll be able to finish this guy off. Down to one guy. So pretty tough fight, not too bad, but like definitely okay, so we didn't bug out this time, which is good because this is exactly where we bugged out last time. So we got the 2,000 because we betrayed them and took their money. I think this will be a prudent time for a save. and I think it's also a good time to maybe spend a little karma. So we'll go ahead and grab quickness 3. Now one thing I need to say about this is all of these things are, some of these are part of a tree. So the quickness tree affects range combat, and then range combat affects your ability for pistols, submachine guns. So your range combat skill can never be higher than your quickness unless you have some cyberware, certain equipment. So you have, so in order to get this to 4, I have to get the quickness to 4 first. So we'll go ahead and do quickness 4, save our other karma, and we'll head in the van, and we're heading into Humanus. So it looks like the shipment was some kind of chemical agent, so I don't know, maybe they were planning an attack. But we're going to head into the Humanus building, and we're going to take no prisoners. But that's a fun little fight we just had. Nice, and I like the fact that this game sort of does challenge you to think a little more tactically. But here we go. So we're in the Humanus compound. So let's look at our mission requirements and see what we need to do. So we need to help Dietrich find his nephew. We need to discover the Humanus plot, and then for the phone booth, we need to find the donor list. So not too bad. It's pretty self-explanatory. So we got some cameras. So let's head into this first store and see what we got. So a bunch of Foot Lockers. And they're all going to have codes in them, so we got to find out what the codes are and where they are, see what we can get out of them. Alright, let's see, we got a note on the table. So locker 3, 2619 is the code. So we'll go ahead and head down to locker 3 and get whatever we need out of it. Now obviously all of these codes should be found somewhere in here. So I think this one's locker 3 if I am not mistaken. And the code is 2619. And there's a note inside. So the code to his office is Pride. So we have the code to the Humanus office, but none of these other places for right now. So just to keep a note of this, this is probably a place that we can summon a spirit later, based on the magical energies flying around. You can see some of these vents. The vents are useful if you have drones, which we don't have a rigger, so you know, we just don't have any drones. Alright, so we can get our Decker to hack the terminal. So we got some pay data, so we can sell that on the Shadowlands bulletin board. We can see the recruits, and you can see that Alexander, Dietrich's nephew, is part of the recruit. So we did get the recruit codes. Now we have the donor list for the party that listens in through the phone booth. And so you see some humanist propaganda here, and it's propaganda that's similar to things that have happened in Earth before. Just some generally sort of racist things. But things that could, people could easily be swayed with. Alright, so this is clearly his office, so we're gonna hop into the office. Their door code was Pride. And here we go. So we got the mission data for the false flag attack with the chemical weapons, but now we're getting confronted by the leader of Humanists, Volker Stahl. So we're posing as the smugglers we killed, but he's not buying it. So I'm just basically telling him he's gonna die. So 5 on 4 doesn't. Well, actually, and here's his nephew. So Alexander's here. And so now basically there's a back and forth where they're trying to make Alexander kill us, and we're trying to make sure Alexander is not going to kill us. So I'm just going to tell him to make a choice. And Alexander shoots at the Humanist guys and chooses his family first. So first things first, Volker Stahl has absolutely no chance, so we'll go ahead and knock him out of the fight. He's dead. So now you see we have Alexander on our team, which is good because we're going to need all the help we can get. Alright, so one down from the blast. All right. All right, so not too bad there. We do need to look at this terminal. So we're going to get Blitz to jack in. And we're heading into the Matrix. Now, if you recall, when we walked in, there was an armory door that was locked. So we're going to need to get the armory door taken care of. We're also going to need to maybe look at finding some pay data. And we also have the turrets in the main room. So that's what we're going to take care of first. So now he's got an attacker program. So I'm actually going to execute the attacker program. And what that is essentially like the conjured magic of the shaman. It's going to be another person in here with me who can just help defeat some of these enemies, tank a little damage, what have you. And so like we had earlier, we have to get rid of all these enemies before we can access the terminals. But it really shouldn't be too much of an issue. And so the one good thing is your programs can actually access the nodes as well, which is kind of cool. Alright, so the turrets are active, so they are now under our control. And we'll head to the other areas of the Matrix, which are these two spots. So as you can see, the turret is now firing on those guys. Now granted, the turret won't really last that long. It's not particularly strong. But, I mean, it'll soften them up a little bit. It'll slow them down a little bit. So let's reduce the alarm state by 4 just to give us a little breathing room, because we're starting to get really close to the critical level there. Alright, so we have the security cameras under our control now. So we could go ahead and storm here, but I'd like to wait on Blitz. Because I do have one more area to go into. So this last one's going to be the armory door. We are getting pretty high on the threat scale. Good shot by the turret. Get the persona to hack the armory door. Alright, we're good to go. So let's get the heck out of here. Alright, now we got black ice, which is not good, but we'll go ahead and jack out before the black ice can get us, but very close. Blitz is going to need a heal here, obviously. So we'll go ahead and just get everybody maybe med kitted up some, just to get into a good spot. Yeah, I think next turn we can start heading in. Alright, so the turret's gone, but it did slow him down a decent bit. So we'll start to get ready for a confrontation with these Humanist guys. And Alexander's a good asset. He has a nice little gun. Definitely helps out. Alright, well this guy's just run to his death. Of course, I hit my own person. So we got a couple injured people here. Although it might be a little better to go around because we have some more cover it's a lot closer to the entrances. So we'll head down here. Glory's also got some cyberware that lets her kind of inject herself with some stems that make her faster. So it's probably going to be something we can use here. So it looks like this guy's going to try to come around and flank us or just run around like an idiot. We do have some Humanist members down there. Go ahead and take these guys out. We're somewhat protected by these large shelves. This is tricky. Okay, Dietrich up to some medium cover. Keeping Alexander alive is part of the criteria, but again, if we can just kind of get spread out, I don't think we're going to have too hard a time, especially when they're doing stupid shit like that. So. Let's see. Alright, that guy's down. You can see how awesome Glory is. I mean, she's easily my favorite one on the team. Alright. So we've evened this fight out pretty easily. Stem her up, and that's going to give her some more action points. Alright, good shot by Alexander. Alright. Unfortunately, this isn't even close to being the hardest part of this. But this isn't going terribly wrong so far. We'll go ahead and burn his med kit on Maverick. She's just so strong, it's unbelievable. Alright, so we do have our spirit we may be able to summon. Good and I see people complain a lot about Blitz, and I don't really understand where it comes from, because he's really capable with the machine gun. So I just find those criticisms odd. I mean, maybe because the character's kind of annoying would be what I would think, maybe. All right, here we go. We got a water spirit here. So we did hack the armory door, and we do control the turret, but with our, the security cameras are showing 1, 2, 3, at least 3 guys down here, and it's actually going to be more. I think there's more going to come out of that room back here. If I recall correctly, there's going to be somebody with a machine gun and like a big like grenade launcher type thing, and they can really make our day tough. So the one thing we can do is we can pop out, particularly on somebody like Glory, that we can get 3 action points on with some stems. We can pop out, shoot, and then pop back in and maybe goad them into coming around the corner. The other option is taking the elemental and using it as a decoy. As you can see, got a couple people joining them, so it's 6, 7 enemies. And of course we lost the elemental. At this point I would just prefer to get it out of here before it just turns on the whole crew. Okay, so they took care of it, which is nice. I think this person's getting a little high up, so maybe the turret will attack. I think that one might be the one with the grenade launcher. I really can't remember. But I say we let him in another turn. Alright, they're in. And we are flanking the crap out of them. I feel like the turret should activate soon. And do absolutely nothing. But that's okay. Good shot from Blitz, and I'm actually going to go ahead and give Blitz a haste, and he can finish this person off here. He doesn't have any ammo. Killing me. That's alright. Alexander should be able to finish him. Yeah, as well as him. So we're just kind of funneling them through the door. Alright, well the turret did get a shot off. Let's get this shotgun person down next. I really need a new pistol for Maverick because he just can't quite do enough damage. Luckily, a lot of other people can. Alright, let's see. So we got this guy who's trying to go one-on-one with the turret. I don't think he's going to be super successful, but you don't ever know. And we see the armory. He's got a bunch of stuff for us to take, which is awesome. Alright, so we should be able to clean this guy up pretty easily. Okay, so we got some med kits, so I'm actually going to switch them out for some of these drugs. There's a really good resurrection item. Another Smartling Predator. Shotgun. So not a bad haul. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and switch that with that cram. We could use a grenade in this last fight. So, okay, so we have the access codes for the recruits too, so we can go ahead and figure out all these lockers. So, let's see here. So what we'll do is we'll just go to each one of these and continue to try to see which one's which. So we'll go to number 1. So we'll try 4176. Oh. Okay, so it is not the first one. 2619. It is not 2619. Not 1409. Alright, 3706. So we got some stuff out of there. Then we'll just do the same thing, except now we can eliminate 3706 as a possibility. Alright, 1409 has a note inside. Okay, we got 284 new yen and a cred stick, which is awesome. So there was an armory door code. I guess if we hadn't gotten to the armory thing in the computer, we could have still gotten into the armory, so that's pretty cool. So there's like 2 ways to do a lot of these things. Sorry, 2114. Alright. And an empty locker to boot. Alright, so we're done in here. We can check the mission objectives, but we're still trying to get these things done. So now we're heading back out to the courtyard, and we have to fight our way out. Had we left the mercenaries alive, they would have been able to be on the other end of the courtyard finding their way toward us. But since we got a little greedy, this is going to be a little tougher, but it's really not that bad. So we got to get over in this general area. So far I can see 1 enemy. So I'll buff him. Okay, so we got some guys here. It looks like 5 people in this immediate vicinity. So yeah, not a lot of success so far. Wow. Or got jacked up. So some of these guys are exposing themselves pretty badly, so so the haste on blitz worked well. We got rid of that guy. I'm just gonna keep taking pot shots at that guy since he's kind of out in the open. Okay, so the mages on the back line probably need to go, so I'm probably going to send Glory down there to deal with him. Blitz can finish him off. There we go. So not a bad start here. A couple Couple of bad misses from the opposition here. So I'll go ahead and give her a heal. I really want to take care of these guys before I rush the back line, but I may not have a choice. And Alexander's not in a very good spot. There we go. That guy was giving me some trouble. So we're down to a couple of mages. Go ahead and knock this guy out of cover, or at least try to. Well, overall, this is going pretty well. Nope, we got one more guy who just came out with what looks like a baseball bat. Closer. All right. Still down to the mages. Dietrich might be in a little bit of trouble. Nope, he seems to be okay. So the mage couldn't get him. That's a problem for the mage. That mage is pretty much out of the fight at this point. Good shot by Alexander. Baseball bat not doing a whole lot. I think both of them should bleed out. And now it's just attacking this guy that's behind cover. And both of those people fell immediately over. So I'm a little surprised combat hasn't ended, so there must be somebody else lurking around out here. Oh, right here, right in front of me. So I guess this is the last one. Alright, that's how it's done right there. So we completed all our objectives. So we'll take the van on out of here. Alright, nice touching moment with Alexander. And we're heading back to the Krez Bazaar. So that's one of the more combat-heavy fights. It's definitely not the hardest fight, but it's pretty challenging. And I mean, we ramped the difficulty up by killing the mercs. Because the mercs will be by the van typically. And so they'll be working their way toward you, and it's easy to sort of, hit them with the pinchers. So... So some of the money we get from this is going to get deposited into the Alice Fund. Some will be given to the team and some of it to myself. And basically, once we get 50,000 in the Alice Fund, we'll be on a much more serious quest. So we tell Beckenbauer that we killed Volker. And then let's head to the phone booth and we'll turn in the donor list. We should get us some karma. We did get 9 karma from that. And 1 more for the donor list and 500 new yen. So now we're sitting on 3,300 new yen, not bad. And 10 karma, so obviously I think range combat 4 is definitely a priority. As is pistol 4. Reloading is now free, so that's going to be huge. So let's go and head to our stash. Let's switch it out for the Ares Predator weapon. It's going to be a huge difference. Twice the damage. It's a no-brainer. So you can see Ares Predator with a smart link. I'll just send that crappy little gun back to the stash. Alright guys, well, that was the 3rd mission. False flag. This is David with Babylon Sector. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit me with a like, hit me with a comment, hit me with a share, subscribe to the channel, whatever you want to do guys, but I enjoyed it. See you next time.